Hey peeps, Pheen here, and we're continuing on with the Great Ace Attorney. Last time, we actually figured out who our stowaway truly is, being the runaway ballerina. And then we got kicked out of her room without really gathering much information. So, it's time to figure out if we can figure any way to prove our innocence.
I wish we hadn't been thrown out like that.
I wish we'd managed to find some clues on what the speckled band might be.
We didn't manage to investigate at all. And I'm imagining that we won't be able to for a while longer. We'll never get past that sailor guarding the door.
He's clearly glaring at us, as if to say, don't even think about it. Oh, wait a minute!
What is it?
Well, what happened to our great detective friend? Where'd he go?
Oh yeah, he completely disappeared.
When did he do that? He slipped away as quietly as the wind, but not before ensuring these were securely back on my wrists. Well, can we talk to him maybe? No, we cannot. Well, hold on, examine. Hey, buddy. I really wish we'd had a chance to look around Miss Pavlova's cabin. What? Why you look like that? You want something? Huh? Maybe you want me to throw you out again? Hmm? Oh, no, definitely not that. Next time I have to throw you out, I show you where lobsters spend winter, understand? I understand. Maybe I should steer clear of him until he's forgotten my face.
I don't think he'll ever forget your face, Naruhodo-san.
Oh, great. But he left this unguarded. It's a pen with it, too.
Yeah, I'm sure that the ship's log.
Shall we have a little look through it?
The writing is so neat and precise. Every detail about...
whoops. I wouldn't expect a rough and ready sailor to have such beautiful handwriting.
Anyway, look here. Last night's log is mostly blank.
Presumably that means there was nothing to report. Well, can we go out this door?
That door leads to the second class area.
It's locked. I can't open it.
No, well, that stands to reason. No one wants to let the murderer escape.
Gosh, she gave me a very stern look when she said that. Well, I guess we're kinda out of luck, and guess we just go back to our room. Alright. First class cabin number 1. Yeah, that's our cabin.
Not our cabin. It's Kazuma-sama's.
Sorry?
Your accommodation is confined to the wardrobe inside the cabin.
You know how to make a stowaway feel small, don't you? Small's the wardrobe I've been calling home. Anyway, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga has managed to uncover any new clues. Oh god, that's right, we left him in there!
Yes, we should probably find him and ask.
Whoops, I forgot that he was in there. Looks like they're still investigating in here.
Yes, on that subject, I wonder if Inspector Hasanaga is unscathed.
What do you mean, unscathed?
Surely you haven't forgotten, have you, Naruhodo-san? Don't you remember what he said about allowing you out of his cabin to investigate? He was going to talk to the captain about it. He said he'd lay his life on the line for you.
Oh, yes. But I'm sure he was exaggerating. Let's see what he has to say for himself. Might have some new information for us. You never know. Well, where is he? Hey, buddy. Have you seen our friend? Yo, where did you go? Oh, sorry, I just went to the next door cabin to invest. What? Who gave you permission for this? Well, Seaman Hasanaga did. That no Japanese, was it? Later, I will roll him into a ball and throw him in the cold room. Whew. He's gone back to guarding the door.
I hope Inspector Hasanaga doesn't find himself in too much trouble on our account.
He's really gone out of his way to help us, hasn't he? When we get back to Japan, we'll have to take him for a steak at Le Carnival.
That could be a very long time from now, Naruhodo-san.
Really? Did I never inspect these? It's good these letters were written in ink and somehow spilt on the floor, and they spelled the Russian word for wardrobe.
It does seem to be an unambiguous pointer to you, Naruhodo-san, as you were sleeping in there.
But to be truly unambiguous, it should have just spelt out my name, don't you think?
Well, either way, one fact remains. It's hard to imagine that Kazuma-sama would have written the last words, or word, in Russian.
Which begs the question of who did write it. This is where Kazuma spent his final moments, writing his diary.
1:23 a.m. I can hear a faint whistling sound. 1:35 a.m. What looks like some sort of speckled band is dangling from the ventilator grill.
Looking at his writing here on this page, it's almost impossible to believe that he's gone.
Kazuma-sama left us a valuable clue in these words. I'm sure of it. We had to solve this mystery, Naruhodo-san.
We will. Oh, there he is! Ooh! You're back. Inspector!
What happened to you? Your face is...
Please, don't worry about it. They're just scratches. Made by a bear, maybe? When I told the captain that I'd given you permission to investigate, he told me he'd pummel me with his fists and then toss me overboard. What? But the pummeling was over in a flash, and he must have decided against throwing me overboard. So it was nothing, really. Looks like he wasn't joking when he'd say he'd lay his life on the line if he had to.
Well, thanks to your efforts, we now know a little about the neighboring cabin.
Yes, so I understand.
Oh.
I bumped into a man claiming to be a great detective a little while ago. I think his name was something like Herlock Sholmes. I don't think he was German, though. That explains it. Shall we compare notes, then? We can tell you what we found out. Yes, let's do it. Okay, so let's talk about the great detective first.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes was here, was he?
Yes, he seemed to be enjoying himself a little too much, as he crept about on the floor investigating. But then he suddenly left. I suppose he must have become bored. Did he say anything at all? Actually, now that you mention it, yes, just one thing, but he practically shouted it. It's shoe polish, was all he said. Shoe polish? What do you mean? It was when he was over there, by the piece of broken glass. Do you see?
Perhaps he was talking about this brick-colored mark. Do you think?
Yes, that must be it. But how could Mr. Sholmes know that it's shoe polish? That leaves me cold, I'm afraid. I have no idea. What is this, Susato-san?
Well, Kazuma-sama was wearing leather shoes with a very dark tan hue.
Dark tan? A sort of dark brownish red, then?
Yes, a little like the color of red wine, but darker. I often repaired them for him.
Oh! Does this mean that this mark was made by the polish of Kazuma's shoes as they scuffed the floor? Ah! Alright, detective, you got a couple points. What? Nikolina Pavlova? She's in the cabin next door? Oh, do you know who she is? Please, what self-respecting ballet fan wouldn't know the graceful angel? Oops, I think I upset him there. Well, that tells us the neighboring cabin is unrelated to the case at least. Oh, how? Because angels don't go around committing crimes, do they? Oh, now I've definitely upset him.
Inspector, has your investigation into your proof fruitful?
If I'm honest, there's very little more I can do. Our duty is to make sure the scene isn't disturbed, ready to hand over to the Hong Kong police. So I'm just keeping watch here, trying not to take my eyes off the job.
Oh, I see.
Ah, there is one thing. I do have a small piece of new information for you. Oh, what?
Yes, do tell us, Inspector, please.
What is this new information you have, Inspector? It's this. The Burria's medical officer has finished his examination of the body. I managed to obtain the report. Oh, Kazuma's post-mortem report?
Kazuma-sama.
So, what was the cause of death? Damage to the cervical vertebrae is what's written in the report.
His neck was broken?
Yes, it would seem so. There were no obvious wounds or other signs of injury. So at first, I think they were considering poison. But it turns out they found no trace of poison in his system at all. Well, what weapon was used then? Nothing has been found as yet, but the fact that there are no signs of a wound suggests it may have been a blunt object, something that wouldn't leave a mark. Oh, I see.
All the body's nerves run through the spine to the brain. A strong enough impact to the neck would induce death. It is a possibility, and no obvious wound would be left.
Poor Kazuma. I have a second copy of the report. If it might be useful, you're welcome to have it. Really? Are you sure? Yes, it's fine. I trust you. Aw, Hasanaga. After all, if I didn't trust you, I'd never have agreed to you leaving this cabin in the first place, would I? Aww. I have been a little mean teasing Hasanaga. As far as I can see, he's one of the few people that's actually on my side. That's really all I can tell you at this stage. I should return to my post. My fellow crewmen's eyes are boring into the back of my head. Yeah, that might be for the best. Thank you.
Poor Inspector. You look exhausted.
Oh, no. Well, I feel terrible that I failed to protect Asogi-san. It was my responsibility. Of course, my pain is nothing compared to yours. You were his friends. The truth is, I seem to have had a heavy head ever since I woke up this morning. Wait, you too? A heavy head? That's interesting. Oh, my head is still throbbing too. Well, what do we do now? So, that just makes the question, if he died by breaking his neck, when could he have written the message? So this is the ventilator joins Miss Pavlova's cabin.
Yes, that's right.
And just a few minutes before he died, Kazuma saw something emerging from it. The speckled band, as he described it.
If only Miss Pavlova had been able to shed some light on it, but she seemed as baffled as we were.
Yeah, I wonder if she's telling us everything, though.
I'm not sure.
I know most people aboard would say the same about me, but there was something about that woman that didn't sit right with me. Huh. Well, we oh, wait!
It's really such a beautiful color, this glass.
Looks like whatever it was broken clean in two. But the other half is nowhere to be seen.
And there's the brick-colored mark.
Which is shoe polish, according to that great detective you seem to know all about.
I suppose it must be from Kazuma-sama's shoes.
Maybe, but what I'd like to know is, how can the detective be so sure that it's shoe polish and not something else?
Because he's a great detective, of course.
That's hardly a reason, is it? Well, is there anything else we can inspect over here? Doesn't look like it. So maybe we can head back out now. Aha!
Ah! Look, Naruhodo-san! Seaman Stroganov is gone.
Strong enough?
The burly Russian sailor who always crossing his arms and glaring at us.
All these Russian names are impossible to remember. Oh. Did you hear that? It sounded like someone singing.
I did it the great detective way.
Oh.
This caroling, I know that lark-like voice.
Well, never mind that now. This is a golden opportunity for us. Well, I thought it was the ballerina, but I think we know who that was.
Yes, you're right. We must seize it. Let's get inside Miss Pavlova's cabin while we can and investigate.
Definitely. Before that Stringy-Not crewman comes back.
It's Stroganov, but not Stringy-Not.
Alright. Miss Pavlov. Oh, the case is open. There's something amongst us. Miss Pavlova isn't back yet. Susato-san. Oh, where's she gone? Hey, what are you doing? Those are her private things.
There's not a moment to waste, Naruhodo-san. We must investigate as quickly as we can.
I suppose you're right, for Kazuma's sake.
Not just for Kazuma-sama.
What do you mean?
It can't be long now until we arrive at port in Hong Kong. I don't want you to be in those handcuffs when we get there.
Really?
We must solve this case, Naruhodo-san. By ourselves if we have to.
Aww. Yeah, we will. Our friends are coming to help! Can we rearrange these back to normal too? Well, the books have toppled over together, look. Every single one.
Do you think that's a god of the sea, perhaps? He's toppled too, though.
It's exactly the same as the bookcase next door. Kazuma's cabin.
Perhaps Miss Pavlova was practicing a difficult ballet pose and fell against the bookcase?
I don't know. Would she really be practicing ballet on the same night she ran away from her ballet company?
Alright then. It must have been you. You lost your temper and knocked them all over in a fit of rage.
Not everything bad that happens on the ship is because of me, you know.
Well, anyway, I'll set them all straight again here too. I don't like seeing things in disarray.
I hear ya. Especially when it comes to like books and documents, it drives me nuts. Well, since she was already over here.
Naruhodo-san, are you there?
Sorry, I'm right here. Yes. Why?
Oh, good. I thought you might have climbed into the wardrobe when I wasn't looking. There's no place like home.
Believe me, I don't have some strange compulsion to jump inside every wardrobe I see, you know.
Well, anyway, I'm not sure anyone could fit inside this one. It's full of beautiful outfits. I suppose they're all stage costumes.
I was rather hoping we might find Miss Pavlova's friend hiding in here, but no such luck. Speaking of...
Oh my, Miss Pavlova's case is open.
It's completely empty inside, but according to the great detective's grand deduction, she was hiding her special friend in there.
Yes, a friend that she's had to keep secret.
Because you're not allowed to bring animals aboard the SS Buria. I wonder what kind of animal she's had in there. More to the point, where is it now? There's one of these next to the bed in Cosmo's cabin, too.
Yes, it's a bell cord. I can't resist.
She barely hesitated there. She gave it a good tug, too.
Oh, I didn't actually expect anyone to come.
We don't want them to! We're trying to investigate in secret! Ah, yes. They're displayed in this cabin, too. Look. The SS Buria's rules of passage. Passengers must not keep weapons or other dangerous objects in their cabins. Pets are also strictly forbidden.
I suppose Miss Pavlova realized that she needed to keep the contents of her case a secret after she read this. Her special friend, I mean.
I wonder where her friend has disappeared to now.
It's probably having fun exploring the ship, I imagine. I just hope Seaman Stroganoff doesn't find it and throw it overboard.
Oh, yeah. So do I. What's her side of this like? So this ventilator connects to Cosmo's cabin next door.
Yes, although what a fool of a shipbuilder must be to open a ventilator into another room.
Ah, maybe. It's so that if there's a gas leak next door, the occupant of this cabin would notice and raise the alarm.
Or the occupants of both cabins would die of gas poisoning.
That is a possibility. Anyways, last night, Cosmo wrote that he saw a speckled band coming out of this ventilator. Oh! We got a few things to examine. Let's examine the desk. There are just a few books on the desk. Nothing else by the looks of it.
Well, Miss Pavlova only ran away from the ballet last night. She's hardly occupied this cabin for— oh, and I forgot to read that.
That's true. I wonder what kind of book she likes to read.
Let me see. Yes, I see. It would seem that Miss Pavlova enjoys reading. Books written in Russian.
Thanks, I think I probably already knew that.
It's rude to ask too much of people, Naruhodo-san. Kindly remember that.
Alright. Guessing a cup of coffee?
It would seem this teapot is empty.
So the natural conclusion is that the Russians are very thirsty people.
Or because Miss Pavlova only came into this cabin last night, she hasn't had the chance to make any tea yet. I mean, it could be either.
It's definitely that they're excessively thirsty. I'd lay 1,000 to 1 on it.
You're rather obstinate, aren't you, Naruhodo-san?
No, I'm right though. Ooh, what do we got in the trash?
I suppose every cabin has a waste paper basket.
Shall we have a little look and see what's been thrown away?
Naruhodo-san, it's poor etiquette to go sifling through someone's rubbish, you know.
Those eyes. She's looking at me like I'm a piece of rubbish now.
However, these are special circumstances, I think.
Exactly! We have no choice! There's hardly anything in here at all.
Oh, well, that's a little disappointing. I wonder what this little saucer is doing on the floor.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it's been dropped. More like it was put there deliberately.
Do you think there could be a leak in the roof just above here?
What? A leak?
Is the ship quite safe?
I'm sure that even if there's a little leak in the roof, it doesn't mean the whole ship is gonna sink.
No, you're right. Of course you're right.
She's really trying to persuade herself, isn't she? Well, what else is there to explore? Let's see. We've pretty much gone through this area. Oh! This cabin door is the same simple sort of bolted latch that our cabin door has. Bolts drawn across, there's no way anybody can enter the cabin from the outside.
Yes, it's not a particularly heavy-duty bolt, is it? But still, it would slide across of its own accord, would it?
No, the door is made of metal, so there's no chance of trickery using magnets to unbolt it from the outside.
And it seals up perfectly, too, to stop any seawater coming in. So you couldn't use the method you told me of passing a thread through a crack around the closed door, either.
I seem to know a lot of tricks for opening doors. Starting to see why they're suspecting me. Is there more to explore? I feel like we kinda hit the mark. Yeah, that seems to be everything. Well, I guess let's just head back to first class. Maybe back to our room? We've already examined everything in here. Oh, whoa, no, I didn't mean to click that. We must have missed something, though. We definitely... Oh, wait! All the books provided for passengers occupying this cabin, neatly arranged on the shelf.
They were all over the place when we first looked around, if you remember.
Oh yeah, and you tied them up, didn't you?
You have to look after the ships properly. Unruly behavior in the cabins leads to damage.
But it really wasn't me who knocked them over.
Well, anyway, I feel much better now that they're neatly lined up. I can't relax when things are untidy.
Well, that didn't get us any information. So there must be something else. Wait. I thought everyone had a wastebasket. Where's ours? Well, either way, let's go ahead and go on back. Because there has to be something we're missing. Wait. Well, everything's getting checked. Maybe there's something in the hallway we're missing. Wait a minute. I have an idea. Oh, no, never mind. You're just gonna repeat it. I am missing something. Hello, something!
Oh, it's Mr. Sholmes, look!
Wow, you never know where he's gonna turn up next, do you?
He seems to be stealing a look at something as he sings to himself.
Oh, that's right, we heard him sing! Tra-la-la, lira-lira-lay, I did the great detective way. He's still singing. You think he hasn't noticed us?
Or he's simply in extremely high spirits.
Yes, there were times, I'm sure you knew, when the yarn bit off more than it could chew. And through it all, when there was doubt, it's lucky her luck was about. Excuse me. I solved it all, and I stood tall. I did the great detective way. Mr. Sholmes! Oh! What is it? You want to fight? Honestly, interrupting a fellow when he's singing, and I was just about to reach the climactic finish. Sorry, I thought you were never gonna stop, so I figured now is a good time as any. I very nearly dropped you to the floor with one of my famous right hooks. Alright, I get the picture. Now could you put those fists away?
Mr. Sholmes, you seem to be examining something before we interrupted you.
Ah, yes, that. I was immersed in the study of the ship's log, as penned by the stockily built crewmen who usually on guard here.
Oh, yeah, the ship's log.
And did you find out anything useful from it? Well, after 2 a.m. this morning, the majority of the entries are blank. Which means that there was nothing to report. Nothing of note happened, so... Oh, you truly are a student for the land of the rising sun. You've been utterly blinded by it. Sorry. Your logic, my boy, is inverted.
Whatever do you mean, Mr. Sholmes?
Observe the other pages and all shall become clear. It would seem that the same crewman oft stands sentry in this first-class passageway. And he has an almost religious practice of recording nothing to report every half hour. Oh, he writes that every 30 minutes?
Nothing to report.
Precisely. Put simply, the seaman writes nothing to report when there is just that. And yet, the ship's log from last night is largely blank. He didn't even write nothing to report.
Do you mean...
Yes, there were circumstances afoot last night, which led to the seaman being absent from his post.
What kind of circumstances? What happened?
That remains a mystery for now, but we can be sure something significant took place. So significant that it caused the seaman to forget his regular habit of scribing nothing to report in the log. Those are important details. I would stake my life on it. You must log the ship's log in your mental file. Done. Now that deduction was worthy of a great detective. Ah, you're starting to understand what my way is, I see. What makes Sholmes, Sholmes. Brilliance. Ah. Ouch. What is it? Are you hurt? Don't worry yourself. I seem to be afflicted with a throbbing head this morning for some reason. Nothing more. Why does everybody have that? Well, my friends, until our next encounter. He's still singing to himself. I can hear it as he wanders off down the passageway. Is something wrong, Susato-san? You seem lost in thought.
It's just... well, I feel the same.
Sorry?
Ever since I woke up this morning, I've had something of a headache. A sort of continuous throbbing.
Oh, you too? Well, seems we've gathered some more info and are starting to learn that we seem to share a common trait with everyone else so far. Plus, we're finally getting some allies on our back, and that just feels so nice. So, we'll continue trying to find proof of our innocence next time. Until then, everyone, I'll see you later.